Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Rosy Life. Taking my AirPods off, forgot I had them on. Welcome back. And today I want to talk about a very, very important topic that many of you might be very confused about because I sure know by experience, by working with so many people, not only in coaching, but with the over 10 years of psychotherapy that I have performed on thousands of people. A lot of people think that they are codependent. And a lot of people are, okay? But I want to share with you how different it is to be codependent versus counterdependent. Yes, the opposite. And what inspired me to do this is that I've heard and this sucks, okay? But I've heard a lot of coaches on YouTube talk about codependency and mental health stuff. And they're not, first of all, they're not mental health therapists. And they are really misinforming so many people about what the opposite of codependent is or what codependency really is. And there's another sneaky side to codependency. It's not codependent, it's counterdependence. And it is very powerful and very helpful for you to understand this, especially for those of you who are manifesting relationships. And this affects your business and money as well. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for your support. I truly do appreciate you guys supporting my channel and watching my videos and sharing all this. I do this out of love for you, and I genuinely enjoy doing it. And I love sharing information with the world, and I love hearing from you guys. Okay. So thank you again. And I want to make a quick couple announcements. I do offer email coaching. And I also on November 15th, if you are interested, I am doing a free money mindset class for those of you who want to own a business, or maybe you don't either, but you just want to have a different perspective on money. I'm offering a free class November 15th at 11 a.m. Central Time. All you have to do is send me an email at rose@roseylife.com. You can go to my website and send it through there as well and let me know, and I will add you onto the class roster and send you the info link for that. So I also will be talking about my upcoming coaching program, which if you've always wanted to be a coach, you've thought about being a coach, but you don't think you're experienced or qualified or none of that stuff. If you're watching my videos, you are qualified. And I'm going to teach you how to coach yourself, how to be a coach, how to help people no matter what the profession is. If it's multimillionaires to people selling flowers, wanting to open a business, I am going to teach you how to do this in my program and how to set your business up from scratch. Or if you already have a business, how to transfer that over into your new coaching program. You will not want to miss this. Coaches are so in high demand, more so now than ever before, with people not wanting to work minimal wage jobs and want to go out on their own and they don't know how. And the demand for coaches is increasing so fast, but so many people call themselves coaches and they don't know what they're doing. So I developed a 5-month program that I am launching in January, but this money class on November 15th, I'm going to be talking about it, answering questions in addition to the class, and I am going to be taking signups. So if you're interested, just let me know. Oh, hi, Tiffany. Just sent you an email. Hope you got it. This is going to resonate with you too, Tiffany. So, anything else? I think that was it. Okay, let's get down to business. All right. So most people know what codependency is. Okay. They hear about it. There's shit tons of information about it on YouTube. There's tons of books, all kinds of stuff talking about codependency. In a nutshell, okay, someone that is codependent is they are dependent on another person to provide them with a feeling of security, love, validation. They want to be prioritized. They feel they need another person to give them these things. This is not genetic. It's not hereditary. It is hereditary because it's a learned habit, but it's not genetic. It's something that we've learned to do. And most likely, if you are codependent, it is because your parents or whoever raised you, they were too, and they learned it too. So it just keeps getting handed off from generation to generation. So you're seeking approval, pleasing people. That's another characteristic, is pleasing people because it feels good and you give a lot. However, the sneaky underlying to this innocent giving is that you want something in return, but you won't come out and say it, but you do want something in return. So it is a codependent, meaning you need another person to help you feel secure, safe, and enjoy your life. And until you have that person, you can't feel okay. Those are like general codependency. Like I said, there's a lot of information about this. Now, what a lot of people, I notice, a lot of YouTubers and coaches in general and manifesting coaches, and this one really chaps my ass to hear that the opposite of codependent is independent. That is not true, my friends. Not true. I can tell you that is not true. The opposite of codependent actually is counterdependent. Counterdependent. Now, the reason why a lot of these coaches say that the opposite of codependency is independence is they want you to feel independent and not need another person. Okay. And that is healthy. But if you're looking for the opposite of codependency, I'm going to tell you what the opposite is. And I hope, and I just know this is going to help so many people out to hear this. And I know a lot of you are going to resonate with it. And you're just going to say, holy shit, I didn't know about this. Okay. So let me just preface that the goal of all of these codependent and counterdependent behaviors, the opposite of it is not to beat it out, okay? The goal of all of this, and what a lot of coaches are trying to say, but they're doing the best that they can, they just don't understand what these are, okay, is to reach a state of interdependent relationships. Interdependent is healthy. Interdependent relationships are very healthy, meaning there is an interdependence, meaning we both have autonomy, we both have our freedom, we both have our independence. However, we are compassionate with the other one. We share our concerns, we share our vulnerability with each other. There's that interwoven dependence. It's not reliant on the other, there's an exchange back and forth. So if you want to add an affirmation, my personal opinion would be to stay away from saying I am independent, right? And you're going to understand why in a second here, and stick with all of my relationships are interdependent. And I have great interdependent relationships. And if you want to, I suggest you even Google these terms up so that you can really get it clear image in your personal mind as to what this looks like for you. Now, let's talk about counter dependence. Okay. Here's some little notes I'm looking at that I created because I wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's not even talked about. Okay. It's not even talked about anywhere that I see. So we have the codependent, someone that needs validation and they feel uncomfortable and like they can't be happy without this person's validation and approval. And it's sneaky, it's subtle, it's not on purpose. Nothing's wrong with you, right? It's habitual. So the opposite of counterdependence is it's an unhealthy rejection of intimacy. In other words, you have a fear of being intimate. Intimacy is uncomfortable. You don't want it. Not You want it subconsciously, but consciously you are fighting it off. You're rejecting intimacy. And many times people that have this counter dependence, they have been abandoned, they have been abused and neglected, they have been traumatized, they did not have their emotional needs met when they were very young. So they had to become very independent and fiercely independent to the point where they found that this was the best protective measure that they can come up with so that they can deal with the abandonment, the neglect, the emotional, all of those things that they did not receive as a child. So they become fiercely independent. Do you see why I don't want you saying I'm independent? It's not the goal here. We're not here to say, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman, I don't need you. No, that's a big show and facade. People are trying to feel healthy, so they go to the other extreme, which this is my point in my video. The extreme of codependency is not to be so independent where you're like, I don't need you. No, interdependency is the goal here. Okay. Here are some more signs that you may be counter dependent. You might be very defensive with people, with criticism, with people telling you things or people doing things to you. You might feel defensive, either internally or externally. These people also tend to be very perfectionist, right? You're a perfectionist. You expect others to be perfect and you expect yourself to be perfect as well. So, and then you'll criticize yourself when you're not perfect. You have difficulty relaxing. How much do we hear this in the manifesting community about you need to relax, that we need to learn how to relax, to allow the flow to come in. However, this person has a difficult time relaxing because their little antennas are up all the time because they're defensive and they're afraid of being hurt. So they feel like they need to be on guard all the time. Okay. Also, they're very protective over themselves. They don't want people coming too close because they don't know how to deal with it. Right. They're used to doing it on their own. They're used to being independent. They are good on their own. They're happy to be alone. They're happy to do everything alone. They want to be alone. They don't care if they have friends or not. They will do everything alone and they are proud of it. However, inside, they want love. They want the wonderful relationships. They just don't know how to access it. Also, they don't like asking for help, right? They're not a fan of asking other people for help. This is not a gender thing. I know a lot of stereotypes out there saying that men don't like asking for help, and a lot of women don't like asking for help, especially strong, independent women. That's a stereotype, okay? But counter dependence, they don't like asking for help because they taught themselves to rely on themselves and be very fiercely independent. They don't like vulnerability, right? Vulnerability, it's like danger because they fear if they open up and are vulnerable with their emotions, they fear rejection. So, and also vulnerability to this person is needy. And needy is dangerous because if you're needy, you're vulnerable and someone can reject you and hurt you. So, vulnerability is not their thing, baby. Also, impatience, very impatient, right? And impatient when things don't go their way. They want things to go their way. And if they don't go their way, they're very impatient. So, I wanted to give you an idea of, because I hear this a lot, it's like the opposite of codependent is independent. I would stay away from that. It's counter dependency. Here's what I want you to understand, because if you can understand the counter dependence and you see yourself in it, right? This is so freaking helpful for you, because to heal counter dependency is what you're wanting to do is allow intimacy, allow yourself to be vulnerable, feeling comfortable. Like someone that is truly codependent is going to be very uncomfortable saying what I'm about to say, this affirmation. I am comfortable receiving. It's not a comfort zone for them, okay? They are people that are counter dependent are not comfortable receiving anything, receiving intimacy, receiving gifts, receiving help, receiving love. It's not very comfortable. They're okay giving. They're okay giving because they're in control. But receiving, that's a different thing. Now, how does that stack up for relationships, y'all? Doesn't. Can you see why? Because if you're a giver and then you get mad that you're not receiving, but you don't allow yourself to receive intimacy, love, affection, gifts, whatever, right? How do you think that relationship's going to last? By the way, some people have asked me, can you be both? Yes, you can. Some people can toggle back and forth between codependency and then counterdependency. And usually it is because someone that's been codependent for a very long time will shift into counterdependency out of survival. Okay, out of survival because they can't deal with needing other people. So they'll swing to the other side, the extreme, and become counter dependent. So, but both of these behaviors and states of being are very unhealthy. Okay. That is the big thing here. They both are very unhealthy. But once you recognize them, once you're able to see that these are your behaviors, that these are your thoughts, this is how you see the world, this is how you see relationships, it will also show up in your business world. It'll show up professionally. It'll show up with your family, with friends. It's not just romantic, okay? This is with everybody, with everything in your life. Once you're able to identify and see this in yourself, then you're able to make those changes, okay? So again, you want to focus on being vulnerable and expressing yourself and showing and telling people that you love them, showing and telling people that you care about them, allowing other people to come close to you, allowing other people to hug you, to give you gifts, allowing people to support you, learning to trust people, allowing yourself to trust other people, assuming that people are thinking the best thoughts about you, assuming that people have the best interests, assuming people that are trustworthy, assuming, do you see how this is being open and vulnerable? And if you have a difficult time with this, I highly suggest that you work with someone, because either a therapist or a coach similar like me that actually knows the difference with these, and work through it. You're not going to change it overnight. I'm not going to lie to you, because these are so habitual. And if you've been doing this your whole life, you're not going to just, wake up tomorrow and be done with it. Can it happen pretty quickly? Yes, it can, with your persistence and your consistency. If you just do this once and you're like, oh, cool, I did one session, you're like, that's nice. But if you are not persistent and consistent with yourself on focusing on, you know what, I didn't learn this behavior overnight, and I'm not going to think that I can change this overnight. Now, some of you say, well, can't we just manifest this and pretend that we're not? Yes, you can. If you have no beliefs in the way of you manifesting it, if you don't have any resistance and you don't have any like limitations to it, like, yeah, you can, we're instant manifestors. But the problem is that we have all this belief built into us and all this crap stories within us, and in our way, telling us that we can't do things quickly, that we can't manifest instantly, or that we can't change quickly, or one belief will open up three other beliefs or whatever. Okay. And everybody is unique and everybody is different. So that is why it is so helpful to work with someone. Now, I also want to talk to you about what interdependency looks like, okay? Because I don't want to leave you hanging with that. Like we know what codependency looks like now. We know what counterdependency looks like now. And now I want you to know what interdependency looks like, okay? This is what you are after in any relationship, romantic, professional, and friends and family. I want you to hear some of the words that really symbolize what an interdependent relationship looks like. First of all, is you are able to access your own feeling. In other words, or access your own feelings rather. In other words, you're genuine. You allow yourself to feel all your emotions. You don't avoid feeling any of your emotions. You allow yourself to feel all of your emotions, and you allow your partner to have emotions. You allow them to have emotions, and you are both compassionate with each other. You're not criticizing yourself for having emotions, and you're not criticizing your partner for having emotions. And again, this goes professional, family, friends, and romantic. Okay. Also, notice that this relationship, this interdependent relationship, is the relationship you have with yourself. So self-concept group, all the crew back there in wanting to work on your self-concept, this is also the interdependent relationship that you have with yourself, okay? So allowing yourself to access all your feelings and feel them. Also, facing your fears of intimacy. Someone that's counter dependent is afraid of intimacy. And somebody that is in an interdependent relationship is okay facing their fears of intimacy and actually handles them, deals with them head on. They're not running away from their feelings. Okay? They're not afraid to ask for help. You're okay asking for help. I've had several people, coaching clients with email coaching and in person, ask ask for help, and they were afraid to ask for help, thinking that if they asked for help that they were going to show the universe lack. I'm like, you're already doing that by thinking it and by watching YouTube videos. Okay, so if you are already doing that, this is part of what I'm talking about, the interdependency, right? It's like it's okay to ask for help. In fact, I wanted to really get good at lifting weights in the gym. And over the summer, I thought about that. And what I did is I finally decided to invest in me, and I hired a personal trainer. And I didn't want to spend the money on it. I'm not going to lie. I was just like, I don't want to pay someone. I have a gym. I can go figure it out for free. And blah, blah. This is the argument that I had in my head. And then I was like, well, first of all, I'm worth it. Second of all, money always comes to me. Okay. Thirdly, when I want to learn something, I ask for help. I don't just sit back. If I don't know how to do something, I'm like, yes, I was imagining myself working out at the gym and being really good at it. And I'm like, but I want to actually go out there and do it. So I contacted a coach, and I got personal training for a few months. And now I know how to do deadlifts and do all this crazy shit that I would make fun of other people on YouTube or Instagram, whatever, for doing. Now I'm actually doing it. So, but I asked for help, and that's how I was able to learn. And I paid someone to help me. Don't ever be afraid to ask for help. This is healthy and normal. Okay. Also, knowing what you want is also symbolic of an interdependent relationship, right? It's like, I don't need someone to tell me what I want. I know what I want, and I'm happy and content with what I want and my choices. And my partner knows what they want. Okay. Um, value healthy connection. In other words, you want connection with other people. You're not a hermit hiding in your house, avoiding contact with other people. You're not running away. You're not trying to avoid people that are wanting to reach out to you. You're not saying, you're like, I don't need friends. I'm good. Right. But yet here you're wanting this wonderful, amazing romantic relationship, but you're just like avoiding people like the plague. Right. No, healthy connection. We're human beings, and we're here to connect with other people. Having hugs, having like hugs that last more than 3 seconds, more than the no, like hug someone and stay there. When if I get my arms around you, you're going to get a 20-second hug. You're going to feel my hug. I give hugs, and I learned to do that because I was a counter dependent person. So I had to learn how to allow intimacy and enjoy intimacy. It didn't just happen to me overnight. Okay. Also, practicing self compassion, compassion on yourself for having treated yourself this way, for having isolated yourself, for having criticized yourself and holding yourself to be perfect, right? Having compassion for yourself. And the more compassion that you have for yourself, you're going to notice how much more compassion that you begin to have for other people. And you're going to see them as beautiful and whole and complete as they truly are. Okay. Ridding yourself of perfectionism and expectations. Someone that wants to move away from counterdependent or codependent and wanting to go interdependent into that beautiful, healthy relationship, you're going to rid yourself of expectations of yourself, beating yourself up with, I should have done it. I shoulda, coulda, woulda is a good form of looking for expectations with yourself and with other people in general and specific people. You shoulda, coulda, woulda. If you find yourself using those words, those chances are that really high that those are expectations that you created for other people and on yourself. And you want to let those go. The simple awareness that you have them is so powerful so that you can drop them. Also, I already talked about this, but not avoiding your feelings, right? Someone that is in a healthy interdependent relationship, they don't avoid their feelings. They don't pretend, they don't brush it off, like shake it off, shake it off. No, they just accept and allow themselves to have feelings, off days, right? Bad days, whatever and they're not even bad days, right? So allowing yourself to experience emotion. So those are some key pillars or symbols of an interdependent relationship. Now notice how you can use those things that I just shared with you that are symbolic of an interdependent relationship on yourself, that this is what you're going for, right? To be healthy, have a healthy relationship with yourself, and then also with other people, like the people that you work with, your friends, your family, your partner. For those of you who are manifesting specific people, right? These are the things that you want to bring to the table as a whole, healthy individual. This is the kind of relationship you want because it lasts. Because codependent and counterdependent are those are the opposites of each other, and neither of them work, neither of them last, and they're very draining and unhealthy rather, for the relationship and for you as a person. So I hope that this video is helpful and that you guys have a understanding of what the opposite of codependent is. It's not independent. It's being interdependent and having these relationships that are healthy and balanced, because the opposite of codependent is counterdependent, and it is extremely unhealthy. And and if you missed the beginning of the video, just suggest that you go watch the beginning so you can hear the definitions of all three of those and how you can change them. Okay. So let me just see real quick, just check on your comments. Upstar. This is crazy. I was literally asking myself, what is the opposite of codependent? Here you are. There you go. I knew you were manifesting me. Isn't it just a lack of self-love? I feel like that's where mine stemmed from. Well, I hope I explained it more now. Angelica, yes, interdependence. And that is easy when you become emotionally stable and you learn to feel safe and secure within oneself. I no longer need it or seek it from the outside. Yeah, there is nothing on the outside. There literally everything's coming from the inside. So seeking it on the outside is it's an illusion. It's smoke and mirrors that you have bought into the story that you need something or someone. And you can tell yourself that. You're just like, I totally made this up. I created a story I totally made up that I need something or someone outside of me. I totally made that up, because the truth is I only need me. All right. SD, oh my gosh, this is me. This is the way I've always been. I feel like I'm having a private therapy session because of the way I'm having. Yeah. What kind of therapy do you suggest for this? Any psychotherapist, SD, would help you with this actually, because this is something in the mental health realm. When I do work with my clients on one-on-one, not in my email coaching, I can't get into this stuff. With my 90-day coaching, this is the kind of stuff that I dive deep in, and I'm just like, we get rid of this shit fast. But it is like consistency is key to changing anything. Taking action to consistently and persistently change things. That is why I work with people for 90 days, 3 months of me up on your grill. Okay. And that is why, because it takes time for you to become aware, for you to understand, for me to check up on you in between all our sessions and asking follow up questions and giving you homework, right? Also, if you want to go to see a mental health therapist, right, you can work on this and tell them, like, you know what, I heard this video and a lot of this stuff resonated with me. And I'm just like, I don't want this anymore. I want to feel healthy and I want to learn how to have healthy, interdependent relationships. So, any mental health therapist, a professional, please, a professional mental health therapist, not a YouTube coach that is a manifester. All right, as well intended as they are, I'm noticing a lot of them are not, do not know what they're saying. I'm not going to name names, but you guys can follow your own guidance on that. Curly Brown, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. If you missed the beginning, I highly suggest you go to the beginning of the video and listen to the breakdown of these, because you guys, if you are counter dependent, nail this shit, get rid of it, because I can tell you that you are completely blocking the flow of having a wonderful, healthy relationships. It's like you're doing this. It's like you're all manifesting, bring me this wonderful relationship. And then it comes and you're just like, like, and you're not doing it on purpose, okay? Because you're just terrified inside of intimacy, because it was a protective thing that you created unknowingly. That's the weird thing. And we don't even know we're doing it. We're like little robots behaving off of these old beliefs. And so you get this wonderful, beautiful relationship, this wonderful opportunity of a job or career, or money just keeps flowing to you. And you're just like inside and you're like shooing it away. You're shooing it away. It's like, you're like, stop, but come here. So you're just like, this is where people get trapped, right? It's like they able to bring it in and then they push it away. They bring it in and push it away. And so you want to break that habit. You want to break the cycle. Codependency is a cycle. Counterdependency is a cycle, right? And the way to break it is to learn interdependent, healthy behaviors in relationships. Okay. And you can affirm and you say, I am free from all counterdependency, thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. I am whole, healthy, and complete. You can affirm that too, right? Do do whatever you feel like is called to you, like whatever your manifesting ritual is, right? Everyone is different and they all work. There's no perfect way. And just whatever works. That's the key word. What works for you? And use that. Okay. All right, my loves. I hope this video is helpful. I know it is. Damn. Because when I learned that I was counter dependent, I was just like, holy shit. Here I was thinking so long that I was codependent. And when I realized, nope, that's not it. The counter dependency, I'm like, it hit me like a bag of bricks, people. And I was just like, okay, this is totally making sense. You can feel it in your body too. If you listen back to this video again, you can feel it in your body. Like you almost might want to cringe and contract when you hear what resonates with you. Your body will let you know. Pay attention. Your body will let you know, because you'll get like a little uncomfortable or a little sick to your stomach, or you just feel it in your chest, or you just get the EBGBs when you hear the truth, right? Pay attention to that. Your body is very powerful and it's trying to help you out. Pay attention, listen to what is being presented to you. don't label yourself. You don't have to assume. Maybe you are very healthy already. Maybe you are already able to have interdependent relationship, and that's not your thing. Well, this video is not for you. All right. But for those of you, which is a high number, I just shared with a client that about 68% of people are diagnosed with codependency, right? But no one ever talks about the counterdependency. And damn, that's a winner, 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 chicken dinner when you figure it out. And that's you, and that resonates. Watch how fast things shift within you. Okay. All right, my loves. I know that this video is going to help you. And I appreciate your support, and I love you guys so much. Bye.